How to be a band manager. Also called a music or talent manager, a band manager takes care of a music group's current and future business, acting as a sort of combination assistant and CEO. A good band manager is a professional who will do his or her best to make the band as successful as it can be. Although there are some basic responsibilities that all band managers should perform, some managers may take on addition roles, especially when working with a less established band. Part 1: Finding a band to manage. 1. Scout for local talent. Most band managers discover the artists they manage. You'll need to do some research and keep your eyes and ears open to find the right up and coming band. Attending local shows is the best way for a band manager to find clients. Look for bars and clubs in your area that feature live music. Attend local music festivals and other outdoor events. When you find a group whose music you love, approach them and ask if they'd be interested in hiring you as a new manager. Talk to local contacts in the entertainment business. If you know anyone involved in the local music scene, ask their opinions about local bands. This is a great way to focus your search if you're not sure where to start. They may also be able to warn you about bands with bad reputations before you invest your time to find out the hard way. Don't forget to use social media. Use their search features to quickly find bands nearby. Many of these will even have a few songs uploaded. Give them a listen to see if they have potential. For the bands that seem interesting, follow up with a trip to their next local show. 2. Advertise your services. When you're just starting out and don't have many contacts in the industry, you may have to take some steps to get your name out there. Leave a flyer or business card at places musicians frequent, such as instrument shops and practice spaces. Register accounts for your business on social media sites. Be sure to mention that you're accepting new clients. Try to match your aesthetics to the type of group you're interested in representing. For example, if you're interested in managing country music acts, you may want to include a picture of yourself wear a typical country outfit in your promotional materials. Wear some combination of denim, flannel, leather, or turquoise with a Stetson hat, western shirt, bolo tie, or a pair of cowboy boots. Make sure it's an outfit you would normally wear to avoid looking fake or over the top. 3. Believe in the band you want to represent. Don't manage a band whose music you do not personally enjoy. It's important to manage a band you can be passionate about. Remember that a major part of managing a band will be selling your band to other people, such as venue owners and record executives. If you genuinely love the music, you'll be better able to give a convincing sales pitch. Your devotion to the band will show through in all aspects of your work. When you're passionate about your job, you're more motivated to do it well. Believing in your band's success will help make it happen. 4. Avoid managing people you have pre-established personal relationships with. You may not have this option when you're first starting out, but it's generally a bad idea to go into any type of business with friends and family. Under ideal situations, there is nothing wrong with it. However, business ventures are rarely ideal. If things don't work out, these relationships run a major risk of going sour. Sometimes there are exceptions when established relationships can actually help you be a better manager. When a loved one's career is in your hands, you might be more motivated to do the best job possible. 5. Make sure all personalities involved are compatible. This applies to you, the members of the band, and anyone else you'll be spending a lot of time with, such as bus drivers and roadies. For a successful business relationship, you need to click on a personal level and work well together. In addition to initial chemistry, you may need to help resolve interpersonal conflicts as your act matures. You'll be their coach, making sure they stay productive and together. Part 2: Starting a partnership. 1. Familiarize yourself with entertainment law. Before you start managing your band, you'll need to do some research into relevant laws where you live. Find out which roles you can legally take on as a band manager in your state. Although you don't need any formal certification to be a band manager, some related work requires licensing. Typical examples of these are booking agent and accountant. These laws vary greatly between countries, states, and even cities. Information about these laws can be found on government and professional organization websites. You can also talk to a local entertainment lawyer for guidance. This step is incredibly important for securing your future success and income. If you accidentally overstep your legal role as manager, this may be used to nullify your contract. 2. Agree on compensation. Most band managers work on commission, meaning that they take a set percentage of the band's profits. A typical commission for band managers is 20%, but established managers with proven track records sometimes ask for a higher rate. Although not as common, some band managers charge their clients a set monthly retainer. These retainers vary widely and depend on the manager's experience, the band's income level, the services provided, and the local cost of living. This averages anywhere from $500 to $4,000. If you've never managed a band before, it is probably prudent to start off much lower. It's also common for new band managers to work on spec either for free or at reduced rates for a period of time to prove their abilities. Consider setting a specific milestone for when it will be time to renegotiate your rates. This can be a set period of time, 1 to 3 months, for example, or a level of success for your band when they begin to gross $1,000 a month. 3. Prepare a formal written contract. Once you've found a band and know what types of services you can provide, sit down with them and draw up a contract. In the contract, specify what you will do for them as a band manager and agree on what your compensation will be. Likewise, be clear about the band's own obligations. If you're working on commission, be sure to define exactly what you're asking for a cut of. For example, if the band recorded an album before you began your partnership, are you entitled to a commission on future sales? Be sure this is clearly stated in the contract. This step is just as important when working with friends and family as it is with relative strangers. It might seem awkward to ask a friend to sign a legally binding agreement, but it will actually prevent a lot of awkwardness in the long run. Remember that the contract should protect the interests of all parties involved. Human memory is fallible and miscommunication is a frequent cause of conflict. Having your expectations in writing makes them clear, explicit, and easy to refer back to. Part 3: Managing the band. 1. Negotiate with other professionals on your client's behalf. In many ways, this is your primary duty as a band manager. It is your responsibility to establish business contacts and market your band. Examples of other professionals you are likely to deal with if your band takes off are booking agents, promoters, venue owners, record executives, lawyers, accountants, engineers, and road crews. Ask established industry contacts for recommendations. If you don't get enough leads that way, do your own research online to find professionals with good track records who you think would fit in well. For most of these hires, it's a good idea to get the band's input. This is especially important for sound engineers and road crews who will be working with the band directly on a regular basis. 2. Be available at all times. Many band managers are always on call. Business opportunities can come at unexpected times, and you'll need to be able to field calls and emails 24/7. You'll also need to be ready to take care of a crisis, no matter its size. For example, if your lead singer ends up in the hospital the night before a show, It's your responsibility to let the venue know as soon as possible and to possibly arrange a new date for the performance. 3. Promote your band. As a manager, a big part of your job will be to sell the band to other professionals and occasionally to potential fans. You are likely to be the one interfacing with media, managing interviews, and pitching your band to advertising firms. In the early days, while your band is relatively unknown, you may also choose to have a direct hand in marketing, possibly creating a website or designing flyers. It's also common for a band to use a dedicated promoter instead. In this case, it will likely be your responsibility to find and vet one. 4. Book shows for your band. As a manager, it may be your responsibility to secure work for your band. Look for venues and speak to the people there in charge of hiring live music. Negotiate the best fee for your band and have the venue agree to a rider if necessary. In some areas, such as California, band managers cannot book concerts without a special license unless they are also a member of the band. Smaller bands can book their own shows, but you will likely need to find a booking agent to work with if your band takes off. 5. Plan tours. Tour schedules can be tough to organize, as you'll need to coordinate with multiple venues to choose dates while also accounting for travel time. Additionally, even when you can't book the shows, there are many other aspects of a tour that need to be taken care of. When acting as tour manager, it will be your duty to secure transportation and book hotels in addition to everything else you normally do for local shows. Budgeting tours is an important skill you will need to develop, making sure to keep your band comfortable while also minimizing costs. Tips. Always remember that if your band is successful, you are successful. Never be disrespectful or rude to anyone. They may be able to help you in the future. Be sure to have a professional-looking business card and keep a few with you at all times. When you need to give out your contact information, whether it's to a potential client or another professional, a business card will make you seem like a more experienced manager compared to fumbling around with a pen and a piece of scrap paper.